Hello everyone, my name is Daniel Perez-Pinedo and I'm a researcher at MUN, Memorial University of Newfoundland. And welcome everybody to this podcast series. This is a collaboration between us, the MUNPaleobiology group, a research team at Memorial University of Newfoundland, and Discovery UNESCO Global Geopark. And we're here to explore the fascinating stories of our planet's history and the people working to preserve it. In today's episode, we take a journey through time, deep time, with Discovery UNESCO Global Geopark. And we're going to talk about different topics. What makes this place so special? How does it connect with geology, history, and local communities? And to help us uncover these answers, we're joined by Shawna Prince and Chris McKean. Together, they'll share insights into the geopark's unique landscapes and its role in the UNESCO Global Geoparks Network, and the exciting process shaping its future. So stay tuned for an inspiring conversation about conservation, education, and sustainable tourism. And I'm going to introduce Shawna. Hi, Shawna. Well, I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Sure. So my name's Shawna Prince. I am the chair of the Discovery Global Geopark. I'm a resident of the Geopark, and I'm also a business owner who operates geology tours, Rock the Boat, geology boat tours within the Geopark as well.
Okay, so welcome. Thank you for coming, Shawna. And
thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So it's a pleasure. And we have Shawna here to discuss several questions. This is episode 1, and we've named it A Window into Deep Time, the story of Discovery UNESCO Global Geopark. No one better than Shawna to answer my questions. So Shawna, can you start by explaining what a UNESCO Global Geopark is and what makes Discovery UNESCO Global Geopark unique?
Sure. So UNESCO Global Geoparks are geographical areas where sites and landscapes of international geological significance are managed through protection, education, research, and sustainable development. They aim to connect geology with the area's natural and cultural heritage. So our geopark is characterized by fossils of some of the earliest complex organisms that were able to move on their own. We also have beautiful sedimentary rock formations and landscapes in this area as well. The geology here has really influenced the settlement. So the earliest European settlers came here for the codfish. And it's important to note that, the cod are only inshore here where the small boats could only access them because of the slope and grain size of a lot of our beaches. And they allow for the spawning of a little tiny fish called capelin to come up on the beaches and lay their eggs. And the grain size and slope is really critical for them to be able to get on and off the beach, but also for the eggs to properly incubate, which ensures, future year classes of the same species. So when the cod would make their massive migration from offshore to inshore, to feed on these capelin, then they were much easier for the earliest settlers in boats that they had to row themselves or sail to access. So really Newfoundland was built on the cod fishery. And then on top of all of that, we actually have rocks in this area that break into large slabs. So it was possible for them to use them more easily as building materials. And that allowed for the building of root cellars. So every house had a root cellar. And what that made possible was that people, before the times of modern refrigeration, were actually able to keep their root vegetables and fruits that they had collected, berries, those kinds of things, throughout the winter months. They didn't freeze, so that they had fresh fruits and vegetables to keep them going until they could access more the following year.
Okay, interesting. So it's an interplay between biology, industry, geology. Okay, I like it. Okay, interesting.
Exactly.
And so how does Discovery contribute to the UNESCO Global Geoparks Network? What is like the grand scheme of things?
Sure, how it all works. So we have sistership agreements with Charnwood Forest, Aspiring Global Geopark in England, and Langkawi in Malaysia. And we communicate back and forth with them and support each other and work together on different projects. We attend the Global Geopark Conference, Geopark Network Conference, which is held every second year to share with and learn from the wider group of geoparks in the network, and to, see other geoparks. So they're always hosted close to another geopark. So, part of it is the conference and part of it is touring another geopark to see how they've done, what we're all being asked to do. And we are actually right now even holding a contest currently for the Global Geopark Network, celebrating their 20th anniversary, and winners will be announced in the next few months.
Okay, interesting. I wanted to mention that Charnwood Forest in the UK is a very special geopark for us. because of their location back in the day, like if you look at 500 million years ago, Charnwood Forest was very close to Newfoundland, geographically speaking. So the kind of fossils they have over there are very similar to the fossils we have here. So we have a special relationship with them. Okay, and so how does the geopark involve the local community, and why is community engagement important for you guys?
Sure. So UNESCO Global Geoparks differ from other UNESCO designations in that they're grassroots organizations. So other UNESCO designations very much come from the top down, as do provincial and national parks. But this one sort of starts from the community and gets built up that way. So the Geopark actually meets with communities to deliver educational programming, to help with onboarding of geosites in different communities, and to assist wherever we can with sustainability initiatives throughout the Geopark region.
Okay. And I guess, Shawna, my last question would be, looking ahead, what are some future plans for Discovery Geopark?
Sure. So there's a lot of exciting things coming for Discovery. Just in the last 6 months alone, we've developed sort of the plan for our gateway in Southern Bay where people enter the geopark. So there'll be landscaping and a sculptural installation and signage giving visitors a real sense of arrival. We have a revalidation mission that will be happening in the summer where UNESCO evaluators will visit the geopark to assess our progress over the last couple of years. We have some geopark ambassador training slated to happen in the spring, as well as training for citizens of the geopark to be able to monitor erosion at some of our sites. Mm-hmm. And there will be school programming and public outreach sessions happening in the spring as well. So, we're also working on onboarding 3 to 4 new geosites by the summer when we have our revalidation visits. So lots of things happening right now.
Okay, sounds very interesting. And well, that was it on my side. Shawna, thank you very much. It was a pleasure having you as the first participant of this podcast series.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Danny.
No problem. Bye-bye, Shawna.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you, Shawna, for participating. Now we're going to move on to the second interview, and we have with us Chris McKean, or should I say Dr. Chris McKean. Hi, Chris. I'm going to let you introduce yourself a little bit.
Hi, Danny. Well, thank you very much for inviting me to do this podcast. I'm really looking forward to hearing the rest of it as it comes out. So, as Danny said, my name is Dr. Chris McKean. I did my PhD at Memorial University of Newfoundland, working on the oldest fossils found anywhere in the geological record, as are found in the Discovery Geopark. And during my time at Memorial, I also worked closely with the Geopark and the local communities in the area on promoting the geological heritage to educationally to students across the area.
Okay, well, Chris, I have, thank you for that introduction. I have a few questions for you, if that's okay. So I hope so, because that's kind of like why you're here. So let's start with the first question. I was shocked
if you didn't.
So, Chris, what role does the geopark play in conservation efforts, and why is it important to protect these landscapes? Basically, why is geological conservation important, and what threats do these sites face?
Yeah, so these are all really important questions, and I'm really happy that these are now being asked, because the more that people ask these questions, the more likely we are to protect these sites for the future. One of the geopark's key roles is actually communicating the importance of the geological heritage of the area, and that's something that Discovery has been doing incredibly well. Through communicating the scientific importance of these sites seen in the geopark, it will actually create a community that is willing and able to take care of their geoheritage and work with the park and with wider organisations to better conserve it going forward. Additionally, the Geopark is taking an active role in monitoring erosion of some of their key sites through training members of the public on how best to do this. And this is something really important for the geological conservation. Sites across the Geopark are of global significance, and this includes localities that obviously both you and I studied during our PhDs that have some of the oldest fossils found anywhere on the planet.
Right.
These fossils themselves are crucial in developing our understanding of the evolution of early life, as well as the history of the Earth. And as such, protecting these sites won't only just ensure that they can be used for scientific research in the future, but it also will allow for the communities to actually benefit from sustainable tourism for years to come. As far as threats go, two of the largest threats to sites seen across not just our geopark, but geoparks across the entire planet are things such as environmental factors, which include wave action and raising sea levels, and then human factors as well, which includes things such as both accidental and intentional damage. And it's really only by better understanding how these risks impact sites across the geopark that methods can then be developed to mitigate against them and protect the long-term prosperity for future generations.
Right. Okay, so now moving on to the next question. This one is about education. So education is a key mission of UNESCO Global Geoparks in general, but how does Discovery Geopark engage with schools and the public? What makes the geology of Discovery Geopark a great learning tool?
Yeah, so again, these are really great questions, and Discovery Geopark has a fantastic track record of working with schools and the local public in engaging them across the different sort of sites that we see in the geopark. Really, since the inception of the geopark, actually. And Discovery has worked closely with Memorial University, the Geological Survey, as well as other institutions, not just in Canada, but abroad also, to engage students and the public within the geopark on the importance of the geology within the area and the research that's being conducted within. Not only are these sites of geological significance, but they really do cover everything from coastal erosion to early life, as I've already mentioned, to other key geological features that it's really unique to see in such a small area, within such a small space. Not only have we got this geological diversity within Discovery, but also they are so easily accessible from the main towns within the area that it actually makes this a great site for people to go and visit all this unique and fascinating geology within relative ease.
Right, okay. Thank you, Chris. And so now we've talked about conservation, we've talked about education. So now I want to discuss a different topic that I thought could be interesting. So can you tell us about some of the sustainable tourism initiatives that have been going on or that go on in the geopark?
Yes, of course. So sustainable development is a core component of any geopark, really. And one of the best ways to achieve this is by working with the local community to develop sustainable tourism initiatives. For example, in Discovery, this has been achieved in loads of different ways. One good example is Memorial University's Paleobiology research team working alongside Sea of Wales to develop the Rock the Boat geology tour. Mm-hmm. Additionally, and this is something both you and I have obviously been involved in the past,
right?
Guided tours of the actual fossil surfaces, especially in the area of Little Catalina. So taking both the public as well as school students out to the sites to show them these fantastic, scientifically, globally important fossils. And then other things that happen in the geopark include events like the Roots, Rants and Raws Food Festival in Elliston. And this brings people to the area not just to experience the wonderful natural landscapes that are on offer, but also the food and the culture of the area, which I think is something that is also really important in Discovery.
Yeah, absolutely. On my side, I have to say that I was personally, as you said, involved in leading some of the paleontology-based tours. It was very successful. It went on for a considerable period of time, and it was a very positive experience. I think people enjoyed it a lot, and we had from kids to senior attendees. It was very, very nice, very positive.
Everyone loves a fossil. It doesn't matter if you're 8 or 80. Everyone loves a fossil.
I agree, yeah. And so, Chris, the last question is: if someone visits Discovery Geopark, what's one geological site you think they absolutely must see?
Yes, so I'm going to go a little bit rogue and a little bit left field here. Despite being a paleontologist, the site I'm going to pick isn't actually a fossil site.
Okay, interesting.
I can see the look of horror on your face, but hear me out here, Danny. I promise it's a good one. So, of all the geological sites within the geopark that I think should be visited, I'm actually going to go for the root cellars in Elliston, as they offer a really unique insight into how the geology of the area has impacted those who have lived within the Discovery Geopark for centuries. These root cellars are made from the local flagstone, and they would have allowed families in the past to store food over the long and harsh winter periods. Elliston itself is actually known as the root cellar capital of the world, with over 130 cellars still being intact. Now, not only can you visit many of these root cellars and learn about the local history, but if you go to Elliston in the right time of the year, you'll actually be able to see the breeding colony of puffins.
Right.
And if you're incredibly lucky, you might even be able to go to the Puffin Festival,
Oh.
which I think is something that we never got the chance to do.
No,
but I know many a time did we go and enjoy watching the Puffin colony.
Oh yeah, many times, yeah.
Over the years.
Many times.
Really,
yeah.
really great memories.
Yeah. If I had to answer this question, I wouldn't go for fossils necessarily as well. So or at least I'm just holding my horses because we're going to discuss fossils in the next episodes.
I can understand that.
Yeah, I would say Teku Cove, like this massive sea arch with those just stunning, huge quartz veins and this like purple colored rocks is very, very pretty, and also stunning sunsets and very, very scenic. That would be my choice.
Even outside of the geopark, I'd say in the entirety of Eastern Canada, Teku Cove is one of the most visually stunning locations. And if any influencers ever want to visit Newfoundland, there's very little other places I think they could get much better pictures from.
I agree. Okay, well, thank you very much for coming, Chris. It was a pleasure having you as a participant.
Thank you so much for the invite. It's been great reliving our PhD years and discussing the geopark, a place that we've both spent. We've been very lucky and spent more time there than I think anyone could have ever hoped for.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, well, thank you for coming, Chris. And I'm just going to basically say goodbye to all our listeners. And we'll soon be back with a second episode. Thank you for listening, and I hope everyone enjoyed.